Okay, right now I am using the same setup as last time, 47 microfarad cap, running the LED, remove the resistance in the circuit, variable resistance, and right now I'm getting a slow blink, and I'm using my air capacitor to facilitate this slow blink. But what I wanted to show was ultimately what I did was I ended up using the rubber on these clip leads to form the extra capacitance that I needed to get this to tune in and out of where I want. So right now I've got this incredibly slow blink coming from this insanely small capacitor, um, and it's going to give me a very long run time off of a 47 10 microfarad 10 volt cap. And if I adjust the capacitor, I can get that frequency to move up to relatively the same speed as I've seen other guys blinking their lights at long run times. So I'll cut this light off over here so we can watch that do its thing. And at this point, that air capacitor is not even necessary. It's basically just serving as an antenna, and I can remove that altogether, which is what I'm going to do. Just to show, I'm going to take this lead off here. So basically, what I have going on, you can see the yellow lead and the green lead are my air capacitor. So I'm technically shorting the air capacitor, but I'm not actually shorting it because the metal is not making contact. It's just the rubber here. So there's, like I say, some form of capacitance going on there, and that's all I need to do to make that happen. Now I can remove the air capacitor. So the air capacitor now has only got one lead on there. It's just an antenna. It's just a piece of metal. And the circuit is fit. See, it just cut off. Now it becomes an actual antenna where, I don't know if you can see, as I move my hand around, the LED will come on and off. But this is mainly why I leave that hooked up. Now it can be made. See, if I have my leads just hanging around just right, it'll work that way with just this alligator clip as my capacitor. But it needs an antenna, which also these other leads are serving that purpose. So that's why that wouldn't be very practical, so to speak. Because if I remove this other lead, then it doesn't want to work anymore unless I start touching it. I need it. It needs an antenna. This is very Slayer exciter like. So use this hunk of metal again as an antenna, and the placement of your clip lead on the other obviously is very precise and important, and this is what is gonna regulate the oscillation of the circuit. So sometimes it's kind of hard to get, but I basically just go like that right there, and I've got a adjustable capacitor. So just running that down once again, I can just remove the air cap completely, which is pretty cool. But in order to get that extremely low blink, I need some type of legit capacitance, and that is the point of that. So I'll turn that back down, and you can see we're back down. Oops. If I can get this right. Oops, just drained the cap accidentally. And interestingly enough, I just saw it blink again, and it was at under 0.42 volts. Oh, it just did it again. So at about 0.4 volts, it'll discharge right now if I introduce some battery. Whoops. That's because this is actually touching metal. All right, so let's try that again. All right, so we're back to our blink, which is pretty cool, which is just by using the air cap. But once again, I'm just going to remove that air cap and just let it run at a more useful frequency. I keep draining my battery on accident here. Let's do that again. Oops. Alright. So basically, air cap, once again, is just a piece of metal. That's all that is. My capacitor is this red clip lead. And we're draining down the 47 microfarad cap. That's pretty decent frequency. It's you can see the blink, but it's actually hard to see the blink. So that'd be useful light in my opinion. That'd be pretty useful light in my opinion. Definitely navigate pitch blackness. I know this for a fact. And with that size capacitor, that's pretty cool. So I don't see the point in showing the whole rundown, but at this point, I think it's cool because I've reduced this circuit to a 2N3904 resistor, a transformer with less than 100 or no more than 150 turns total, and my capacitor is a clip lead. It needs a ground or an antenna, and that's it. There's no diodes, resistors, anything else at all on there. See right now the frequency, at times it gets a little fidgety, but this is also because I have maybe random stray shit going on in my room. There's a lot of other people, but this is going to be fidgety because this is the capacitor I'm using. As this metal clip compresses down on this plastic, it's not going to be 100% consistent. It's varying very slightly and it's very fidgety, but it works. Just kind of cut out again. My body, the introduction of my body around here is definitely messing with it. Just drain that out again, but you get the general idea. Hook the capacitor back on. So it's definitely more robust with the capacitor. So obviously, the better way to do this would be to add a certain value capacitor that would make the circuit run well, and then additionally have it so it's sitting on a ground or something, and that would probably make it work out pretty good. But just the blink, the ability to get the blink out of it is pretty cool. So if you wanted that, then that's why you would need a very nice big air cap, adjustable cap. That's pretty cool. So you get the idea of the rundown going on. So I don't really need to film all that. But all right, thanks for watching.